Alright, this is my first time watching it all the way through. Although I remember the first game you started really, really well. Let's see what's up here. Like, you're standing in the middle of the stage, you're staying out of his range quite intentionally, and that's nice. The dash attack was, I won't say it's uncalled for, because you're expecting to punish this nair. You just have to realize how far they can move back, and it wasn't a wrong idea and thought process. That was just a misspacing thing. And again, you're waiting so far out of his range. Like, this was actually a really nice movement because he was expecting to try and like side B down and land on top of you. By moving over to the edge, like his only if he wanted to like fight his way down, he'd only be side being like far away and reset neutral anyway. And he was like, oh man, hopefully he presses another button and I can hit him on the way over. But since you're just waiting and crouching, there's no way he's gonna hit you, and you get yourself a good setup off of it. Like again, he was just slightly out of your range, which wasn't like that's not even. It's your fault that you could have done something about it, but it's not your fault in thought process. Like you had the perfect right idea. I like the patience on the platform, and I'm not sure if that fair would have hit like in time before the witch time came out. So I don't know if you were lucky or not, but it was like I won't even question that idea because it was close. Something I noticed is that like while your movement is amazing, sometimes it seems like you're focusing on movement when you could just be shielding, and it's like that's like part of the decision process that it's a matter of flow and also a matter of really logical breakdown of what his options are. Like you should be expecting him to side B here, and the fact that you moved means that you were aware of it, but it actually would have been easier to cover it, like regardless of where you were standing if you were just shielding. Like the moving back is actually technically in most situations is the better option because you can be slightly out of range. You don't have to worry about shield drop frames and you can punish with a tilt or anything immediately. But the fact is that Bayo's hitboxes are really stupid, and they don't really match the visuals either. If you're really, really aware of all of the ranges specifically, then moving is like, it's just better all of the time. Here, since you know, especially JK as a Bayonetta, and Bayonettas in general, they're pretty aggressive, at least on how they land a lot of the time. Just shielding would beat this. And this, I think the thing of between like moving and shielding comes back, and this is you getting hit by it again because like I'm watching it, and it looks like you're quite intentionally moving to this distance. Like you saw how high he was. You know, like if he side Bs immediately, especially from this distance, he shouldn't have been able to hit you. But because of like the way it stalls first, and because the hitbox is so big, you're running right into it. And again, that's a matter of you could have just been near him and shielding, and then punished afterwards. But the thought process in getting out of the range and then punishing on landing isn't wrong at all. Again, that was just. I'm not sure if you actually wanted the forward tilt. Finding a way on, and again, like you're so ready. Like it's sometimes you move just a bit out of the range too. Like this wasn't wrong at all. I think you might have even been thinking of dash attack and you misinput it, but at the same time, like Bayonetta's one of those characters because of her attacks. If you're just shielding under her, it's not that much of a drop between being away. If you're just staying directly under her and shielding, she has like Nair, which is usually safe on shield. Like I think it's slightly positive, like +2 or +3. But the thing is that every time she uses a special, she has more lag. So since she's already used specials, even if she landed with her absolute safest move next to you, like right on top of you with Nair, she would have enough lag for you to drop shield and punish, or at least for you to grab out of shield. I'm not sure what. Oh my bad. I'm not sure what Greninja's fastest option because I know his grab isn't the greatest. But oh wow, I really hate this double click full screen thing. Again, that was a bit uncalled for because this was just one side B, and he actually he had plenty of time because he nared, went through all the landing lag, and then you went for the back air. So that's just a matter of like being aware. If anything, I'll go back into the situation because this is knowing how to deal with witch time is pretty big. So like, as soon as you saw the up B, you knew eventually he's gonna have to land. As long as you're waiting for either him to witch time as he hits the ground or after he hits the ground, you can punish immediately. And I think that's what you were going for when you reacted to him landing on the ground. But you had to realize, especially if it's one up B, I always imagine that they're shielding anyway. Had you, I think you had time. I need to look at the situation because this is, which time's kind of like a really specific thing. Oh, you rolled first. Had you like jumped onto the platform? And I don't even know if you had enough time to do another special if you were still in the air. This is actually kind of really specific, and I don't want to go over this really specific situation, but yeah, I think you were aware of he did have extra lag, but you just didn't know how long it was. Especially if he's on the platform, there's no reason to rush punishing him because at the end of the day, he still has to get off the platform, and that's what you can be looking to punish. Bay is one of those characters where you're going to be second thinking a lot of your punishes, but I just want to look at this now. Yeah, this was you had the right idea again. Like he was landing on the ground. Since you grabbed him, even if you witch timed, it wouldn't have mattered for you, and you actually had time to punish this. Like this is it goes back and forth between knowing what's punishable and what's not with Bayonetta, and those are specific things. Like witch twist, if she witch twists like even on your shield and it hits multiple times, you can actually punish that out of shield consistently. And here, I think you just hesitated unnecessarily. But like the thing is, like you're doing everything so right in movement because you saw this, and you're like, okay, he's probably gonna side me down. I'm just gonna be out of range, and you were like, that was perfect. I don't think you could have gotten a punish on this had you not moved backwards again. You could have gotten a free punish on the side B. If you just stayed in here, if you stayed in place and shielded here, this would have been perfect. Because if you're directly underneath him, no matter what aerial he uses, especially after you two specials, you can always just turn around, down tilt, turn around, grab him. But since you moved, you actually lost the punish. So that's a matter of knowing when you should move out of his range and when you can stay directly underneath him. And I think the main difference being that you want to stay out of his range when he's in the air, he's pressing buttons, and you know he wants to like get something started. But when you know he's on his way down, like at the end, like he's used his up B already. Maybe he used both up Bs. No matter what, he's going down. You just shield because there's not a lot of like horizontal range he can go without you reacting. Like say he's side Bs, he's not side Bing down because if you side B down, you shield that works. But he's in the air. He's already used the side B. You know he's coming down. If he side Bs like to the side, he's going up too, which means that there's more time to react to it. There's nothing wrong if you know he's going down with holding shield. But what you did here with, like, I don't know if he's going, oh man, it might have gone too far. But he up and you're like, I don't know if he's going down or if he's going to the side, and you just moved out of the way completely. That was perfect. And you stayed on the ground. I'll give it after this. Because the way you're moving is actually, like, it's a lot of it is just like it's just straight up like perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with how you're moving, but sometimes you're making the wrong decision of when to move and when you can wait. Here, like you moved out of the right place, but since you moved again, you couldn't punish that back air. And he had a bunch of lag because of the double special that you just didn't pick up on. Again, you're like that was perfect being outside of the range of the side B. This is like your movement's so nice, but sometimes you move too far. So like had you like he side Bs here, you already have range. Had you held shield and he nared your shield, you could have punished that for free. It wouldn't be as much lag as like a double special, but still there's if he nares, even though it's frame safe alone, if he uses a special first, it's actually unsafe now. You managed to catch his jump. That was nice. And again, like you're perfectly out of the range, you get that punish really nicely, you read the air dodge, you frame trap, like all of this is really, really nice. And you're waiting for like this is really nice that you're waiting and you moved around him. Like that was just like this was just like you moving really well in neutral. You could basically called him out for short hopping. He couldn't down tilt you. I see what you were doing here, and it was like what you were doing was smart. Like don't get me wrong. You down tilted him. You're like I'm gonna wait for whatever he does to get down or to stall his landing, and then I'm gonna catch it. And this was like the perfect idea. The issue is that you weren't aware of Bayo's option of just using Nair to land faster, and you were just like on dash startup of getting down tilted. So he uses Nair because the landing lag is so low, so he could buffer another move out of it at landing. Had he been like just slightly closer to the ground and not been able to start up a Nair, he would have been in enough lag for the dash attack to work. But this was a matter of like character awareness, and had you even stayed a little bit longer and just seen the down tilt, you could have punished that on reaction. Because I know your reaction time is kind of ridiculous. Nice reads. And I love the shuriken to catch him on that landing. And again, I think you thought he might like side B or something, but I think you even knew. You were just trying to get down. If anything, always think about what your A landing moves are, since the air dodge just gave you way too much lag here. I think you were just trying to get out of the way, and I understand why you would air dodge, but like as low as you were, this was like kind of screwing yourself over. Ooh. Caught you being a bit preemptive here, wanting a grab that wasn't there. Ooh, that was kind of a call out. That was nice. And again, you're perfectly outside of the range of the side B, and this is something that like even good players don't do right. You're like perfectly outside of the range of the side B, ready to punish. You could just stay in shield and then punish this nair after, but you moved right outside of the nair range too, which is like that's also perfect. You got the like kind of a roundabout punish with the turn around and then dash attack, but that was perfectly fine. I feel like you could have gotten more. Had you been ready after you jumped over the nair or shielded after the side B, but what you did, like that was perfectly fine. You got what you needed, and I like this read. Because you're like you down tilt him and you read like had he done anything else to get out of this besides attack aggressively, which you knew he wasn't he was scared enough to not do that. Like he was either gonna jump away in this forward smash, which is what he did. So he jumped away, you forward smash, and he was out of range to punish you for it. And had he witch timed or air dodge, he would have gotten blown up for it. Like this was a very safe read. His only option was doing something risky like nair into your face, which he wouldn't have gotten anything out of either. Awkward situation. I love just the shurikens to get him off. Good, and I like the second attempt. That wasn't just a slight misinput. Again, you're going for, like at the ledge for some reason. You're going for like routes that I think you just assume that he'd be in longer lag, and you get blown up for it. Like if he doesn't use a special, if he doesn't use a special, regardless of what he lands with, if it's like nair or back air, I just assume that he has like zero lag. I don't try to punish it. You can scare them and make them think that you're gonna punish it, so they'll witch time. But if you get too close to Bayonetta when she's actually safe, she's just gonna witch twist you. She's gonna side B you and get like something stupid off of it. You don't want to be near her unless you don't want to be near her unless she's landing and you know she has lag, which is why you can just stand and shield under it. Again, your movement's really good, and that was a situation where you could have like you wanted this punish again like a bit too bad. Like your movement is great. It's just that you're focusing on it too much sometimes. Because had you just held shield here, you could have like well, obviously you wouldn't have gotten hit. Sometimes the Bayo will go like intentionally skip the ledge, and then you can punish afterwards too. But he just said like that was just a matter of impatience. Like know when to hold shield. Basically, that's what it comes down to a lot. I'm just gonna zoom through this last stock. Well, I'll just let it happen. I'll try not to pause. And okay. Now I see your face too. Just we take this. Again, you could have shielded that instead of moving. That was a good read, just misspaced, and I like the side B. Ah, that's where it is. See, this was a nice catch. I don't know. After you hit him, I believe his specials reset, so he didn't have the full lag from the side up B and side B, which is why you couldn't grab him after that nair. Had he just side B up B and you hadn't hit him, there would have been enough lag for you, I assume, to grab him. I'm not 100% sure on that because I don't know how bad Greninja's grab is, and that might just make me feel there's an illusion of less lag for Bayo. Good. That was the perfect time to shield. Wait, I'm gonna separate it right here. Alright. Sorry about the interruption. Like, If you want, you can put like background music. You should watch this video with background music or something. At the moment, I can't use desktop sounds, and I'm afraid of using like an outside music source, just wasting like data or something. Back to the match though. I want to see where that forward smash came from. Again, that was nice to just wait and shield, and yeah, you didn't get the punish you wanted. Sometimes, like, again, you were moving a bit more than you had to, going for the cross-up jump. I'm not... okay. Again, like, you're going... I like the read that you're going for, and that you're hard punishing in early landing to... you're hard punishing in early landing and hoping for a stalled one, like he double jumps or something, but because you jump first, this forward smash becomes too much. Like, had you stayed in place and like hoped, it's like, oh man, if he air dodges, I can punish this with forward smash, or if he witch times, I can punish it with forward smash. Especially at this distance when he can just side B you anyway. This is where that the same type of read that you came with before, it's not as effective anymore. Especially this hard commitment. Like, because he waited till after he jumped, he had enough time to get back down and punish you for free. Well, almost punish you for free. You got away with it. And again, I like the fact that you're not pressing any buttons. Just moving around Bayo's range is a really nice way to handle the neutral. And that was a nice bait on his part. I don't want to, like... This is like him being a good player, and like this is neutral, so I'm not going to say you did anything necessarily wrong. I think I can just slow down the speed here. Alright. Technically speaking, you had middle stage here. You could have just like thrown shurikens until he got closer. He knew that like you just got hit and you're trying to get away, so he baits you into the corner and he's just taking back middle of the stage. So even if you had stayed back here, you would have still had stage control and could have prevented you from getting closer. And by moving back early, he's also covering your roll in, which you did here. Technically speaking, you could have done the same thing earlier to him when he was at the legend side beat you. Instead of going all the way to him, you could have just moved forward until he was pressured off stage and then moved back. Had he rolled or side B like he had done, you would have punished him the same way he punished you. Wait, that's volume, not speed. I think I'll keep it at 0.75. Again, this is the first time I've seen this all the way through, so it's nice to react to stuff. Yeah, I think you were hoping he'd go straight down to the ground, although that was, like, I don't mind the attempt to shuriken it. Just be aware, like, platforms are always going to be a factor. A bit of an overcommitment, but I like this combo. And your covering was way off the platform really nicely. You were aware, the down tilt. And you've actually been handling that side B really well in the past. Like, you'd be jumping right outside of its range. But I think you were so confident in your movement that you forgot, like, he could just side B through before you, like, after you started up the neutral B. Had you just moved back and then been watching what he did and reacted to the startup of side B? Because there's, oh wait, didn't mean to go that far. Okay, combo. Like, right here, there's actually enough time for you to see the startup of the side B before you landed. But you committed to the shuriken a bit early. Especially when you have that much space, there's no reason not to react. The shuriken's more to make them come to you if they're not coming to you, but the empty hop's more to see if they're coming to you or not. And since you didn't wait with the empty hop and react to check if he was coming, you just got hit for it. Again, that was a point where you could have, like, he actually could have, like, instead of just naring you, he could have side B'd you too. Like here, you're jumping when you didn't need to. You could have just stayed in shield and covered his landing options. Like, had he side B'd or he nared, you would have punished that for free. And again, you're overestimating the lag on nice side B. You're overestimating the lag on Bayo's nair. Unless she uses like at least one or two specials, especially two. It's actually pretty safe on shield and on whiff as well. Nice read on his part. That was, you know why that was risky. I know you, but you got away with it. Again, that was, like, I see what you're doing here, and then you saw, okay, he double jumped, and if he was to land immediately, you wouldn't be intercepted by anything. And if had he jumped, you would have been able to react to it. But again, you're not aware of like at least you're not moving in respect to the fact that there's a little stall and stuff like the downward side B and the down air. Had you just been like this close, just walked a little bit closer and shielded, you could have punished this for free as well. But you're moving a lot preemptively, which is it's good if you're trying to avoid stuff and move outside of his range, which you were doing like perfectly with side Bs and stuff in the first game. But you're not respecting his landing options with the movement. I think the difference between when to shield and when to move again. But nice tech. And you thought you had a punish, but you didn't. I'm not against that. Gem was a bit unnecessary, but he shouldn't. Oh, he does kill you for it. Yeah, then I'll go back. Which one was it? Okay. Like here, you actually could have just grabbed the ledge, but he's super aware of most players when they're especially at this distance, right near the ledge and slightly over it. A lot of the time, they're immediately out of hit stun, and they're aware of the fact they have 60 frames. They won't grab the ledge immediately. So the first thing in their head is, okay, I just need to stay in the air longer. I need to jump. And like high level players, top level players, they're all aware of this, and they like when you're at this distance, right next to the ledge, they almost always cover jump. Since you gave away your jump, you lost your only option to get back. Well, not your only. You lost your best option to get back, and you had to up B early. You didn't necessarily have to up B that early, but he was ready for it, and it was one of your very few now limited options. So just waiting and going under the stage isn't a bad idea unless you know that your opponent is hard reading that. But giving up your jump is always the biggest risk. And I say biggest risk not because it's the only one that'll get you killed. It's because it's the one they're most likely to read and hard punish because they've seen it so many times. Oh, I like his. That was a nice ledge jump from him. But I think he just used 2 or 3 spec. Wait, I'm almost. Okay, you hit him. Up B, side B, up B. He had so much lag. That was 3 specials. You could have literally from here you could have walked back and then charged forward smash and killed him for it. But instead you jumped, and then your best punish option was nair. And that's a matter of awareness too. Like no matter what situation they're in, as soon as you see an up B, as soon as you see it a side B, you need to start counting their specials. So you know how much time you had to punish them. You could have killed. That was like he gave you a free stock. That was a smart wild bounce from him to like mix you up, but he was still dead. he was still like super dead, and there's actually almost no lag at the end of the bats within, and that's more of a matchup knowledge thing. But you always need to be aware of that. If they usually when they bats within, they're almost always counting on you thinking that it takes longer than it does. You can always just shield next to them or just go for a grab to immediately punish it, and they can't witch time it. I like the edge guards because like you're still covering options, you're not dying, and that shuriken should have killed him. Okay, that was a double jump, and you punished it quite nicely because of Greninja's low frame. It's really like I said before, it's so good for you to be able to move around her hitboxes this well. Especially when she hadn't used any specials in that situation. Since you moved, instead of shielding, you could actually punish it like really easily. And again, you're not respecting him as he gets to the ledge. You died for this last game too, I think, when you could have just held shield and he up B'd you. This time he's just up airing you. Again, know when to move and know when to shield, because your movement is nice. Like it's actually really nice, just like straightforward. But sometimes you're doing it unnecessarily, and sometimes you're doing it both unnecessarily and in a place where it only makes things harder for you when you could solve the problem simply by holding shield and waiting. Like just remember, at the end of the day, no matter what Bea is doing, she has to come down eventually. Unless it's Salem and he's gonna platform camp you, and that's a different situation. JK doesn't seem to be intent on that at all. Again, you're trying to go for something that's not there at the ledge. Like when you were going around his like side B off stage and you were shurikening, like that was really nice the first talk. And Ninja is so short. Like I get like look at that. Like you weren't even. You were in the middle of, I think, a jab animation or something. Yeah, and you just automatically duck so low that the back air won't hit. I don't think that was the one, but it happens right afterwards. Like it's silly. Whoa. which is why moving is there. It was moving is so good as Greninja, but you're still trying to like grab like the back air and stuff. Like those things aren't punishable unless he uses a special first. They aren't punishable out of shield or anything. You can dash attack it if you're moving right under the hitboxes, like you were at some cases. But you need to be aware of when you're just not in position to punish it, and just respect it. Yeah, he's only camping the ledge now because he realizes that you don't know how to deal with it because you've just been walking up to the ledge without shield and he's been hitting you every time. So now he's like, okay, I just like if anything goes wrong, I can just go to the ledge and press some buttons and hit him, and I can get rid off of that. So he's just staying over here now. Especially with such a huge lead, he knows for a fact like if he camps at the ledge specifically instead of platform camping you or just trying to run away from you, it's gonna work out for him because you don't seem to know how to deal with it yet. That was actually a regrab you could have punished. I believe your dash attack hits below ledge, but you were still in the wrong spot for it. I like that attempt. Oh yeah, it did work out. Nice. Because that time you were actually off stage already and out of range for something to hit you at the ledge. That was actually a really nice get up attack, and you're rolling in all the right places to get around. I think that was an attempt, and he down tilted the startup of your roll. I don't really care to see specific timing, and you side beat out of that. That was nice. Free punish. I like this combo, and yeah. I don't even. Okay, I don't have anything to say about that. I don't have anything to say about that. Again, you kind of gave up. Like I see what you're doing here with the side B, like rolling across the side B. This was a position where you, again, if you had just stayed in shield and waited, he would have side B'd. Maybe you would have like back aired your shield. It would have been unsafe. But after you side B'd, he would like he's jumping to the platform, and had you been here, like and just stayed here instead of rolling behind and shielded, you would have seen. Oh wait, he double jumped. He's gonna have to land on a platform. If I get to the platform first, he's in lag, and I can punish for free. Like you could have punished that landing lag had you stayed in place. Again, some of those rolls are actually really good, and when you know he's going to aggress on you, and you roll past him, and he's like you've rolled past a couple of down tilts, had you roll past that jab and stuff, like those rolls are really nice. But sometimes, again, when it comes down to catching landings, there's nothing wrong with just holding shield and waiting, because Bayonetta has to come down eventually, unless she's gonna stay on a platform forever, and he's not doing that. I like the shurikens. Again, he's not in any lag, so it was nice that you weren't going for like up airs on the platform yet. And that was a nice read on the air dodge too. You could have forward smash instead of out smash, but it was still the right read. He's gonna edge guard you. Yeah. Overall, like your movement is actually it's straight up nice. Like there's nothing wrong with how you move. It's just deciding when to move and when to wait. Like you actually like especially like when he's on the ledge and stuff, you're giving away so many opportunities when you had the advantage. And eventually he kind of figured that out. He's like, okay, I don't like this guy like he's actually aware at this point. He knows this guy could actually kill me. This guy almost won the last game. This guy's reading all of my air dodges at all the right places. I just need to stop like actually trying to fight him. So I'm just gonna stay at the ledge since I have a lead, and I know he's going to give up. He's gonna give up the control he has on the ledge because you've been giving it up so well. Like you could have killed him there, and he knows this. It's not like I believe the way he was responding was because like he saw it was out of respect. If it makes me feel any better about the set, I feel like a lot of the decisions he was making out of respect for like he realizes how well you are moving and how easily you could kill him, but he realized also what opportunities you're giving him and when he's in disadvantage. So it all comes down to waiting when you have the advantage and keeping up that movement when you're in neutral or when you have control. Like it's your movement's nice. I have to keep saying that. Just know when to wait because you had so many good opportunities and he gave you some opportunities too. But that's about it. Thanks.